Hi, this is Shay Jackson with Hype Math. In today's 5th grade math test prep lesson, we will be reviewing the STAAR Math 2013 test, questions number 1 to number 4. Let's get started. Our first problem says, which coordinate grid shows only a translation? What are we looking for? We are looking for the coordinate grid that shows a translation. Again, we are looking for a coordinate grid that shows a translation. What information can help us find the answer? Well, first we need to know what a translation is. A translation is where shapes move from one point to another without rotating, resizing, flipping, or anything else. Again, translation is where shapes move from one point to another without rotating, resizing, flipping, or anything else. Now that we have the definition of what a translation is, and looking at our coordinate grids, are there any choices we can cross out? Okay, looking again at our definition of translation and our coordinate grids, are there any answer choices we can mark out because they're wrong? And it's a good practice to mark out wrong answers, because in doing so, you improve your chances of getting the answer correct or the question correct. If you said you can cross out A, B, and C, you are correct. Okay, and in looking at it, number for A, it looks like it's flipped. C, it looks like it's rotated, as well as B looks like it's rotated. So what is our answer choice? D. D is the only one that answer choice that shows translation, where the shape has only moved from one point to another. It doesn't look like it's rotated, resized, flipped, or anything else. Let's move on to question number 2. The table below shows the number of people who went to a movie each night on 4 nights. Okay, so people at the movie. So the first night, 75 people went. Second night, 200 people went. Third night, 125 people went. And fourth night, 175 people went. Which graph represents the data in the table? Okay, which graph represents the data in the table? What are we looking for? We are looking for the graph that best represents the data in the table. What information do we need to find the answer? Okay, so we need to know night 1, and it's the data that we already went over concerning the people who went to the movies. For that first night, 75 people went. Second night, 200 people. Third night, 125 people. Fourth night, 175 people. Based on this information, are there any answer choices we can cross out? Okay, so let's look. For F, we have a bar graph, and we want to see, number 1, we see night 1, 2, 3, and 4. And also, the hash marks are being counted by 50. Okay, so you're going to look to see if night 1 shows 75, night 2 shows 200, 3 and 4 the same thing. It matches with the data in our table. Looking at G, it's the same thing as a bar graph, and you're going to do the same thing as well to see if the night matches the number of people. For H and J, you have to be careful, because if you notice in the pictograph, it says that one person for H represents 25 people. Okay, so when you are looking, even though it shows 3 people for night 1, that really means 75 people because it's 25 people per stick person. Okay, so be careful with that. Also, for J, it says that that person represents 50 people. So with pictographs, it's very, very important to look and see what the symbol is and how many is represented per symbol. Okay, with that information, take a moment to look and see if there are any graphs or answer choices that you know are wrong and we can cross out, because in doing so, it helps us improve our chances of getting this question correct. If you said that answer choices G, H, and J can be crossed out, you are correct. So let's take a look. So for answer choice 1, for answer choice G, we could automatically cross that out because night 1, it looks like it says it's 175 people, but we know that that first night only 75 people went to the movies. Okay, so we can cross that out. And for H, it looks like for that first night, okay, it shows for 25 people, it shows 3, so that's good. 75, then 200, and then 125. But for night 4, we have 25, 50, 75, 100, 200 people. So it's a very good idea that when you are looking at the graph, pay attention, especially with pictographs, okay? And also for J, it shows 75 for that first night because each person represents 50 people, so they show 1.5 person. That's 50 plus 25, so that's correct, that's 75. And then for night 2, it does show 200 people because it's 50. One person represents 50 people. They have 4 people. Okay, that's 400. I'm sorry, that's 200. But for night 3, it shows 3 people. So that's actually wrong because if each person is 50, represents 50 people, that meant for night 3 in answer choice J, they're saying that 150 people went on night 3, and that's incorrect. Okay, so again, this automatically looking at the data, seeing what we're looking for, we've already crossed off 3 answer choices and we're left with our correct answer, which is F. Okay, F is the correct answer. Let's move on to question number 3. The table below shows the total number of juice bottles in different numbers of boxes. Okay, so we have the total number of juice bottles in the left column, and then in the right column, the number of boxes. So for 54 juice bottles, we have 3 boxes. For 90 juice bottles, we have 5 boxes. For 108 juice bottles, we have 6 boxes. And for 162 juice bottles, we have 9 boxes. Okay. Which statement describes the relationship between the total number of juice bottles and the number of boxes? Answer choice A, the total number of juice bottles plus 36 equals the number of boxes. B, the total number of juice bottles divided by 18 equals the number of boxes. C, the total number of juice bottles times 3 equals the number of boxes. D, the total number of juice bottles minus 51 equals the number of boxes. What are we looking for? We are looking for the statement that describes the relationship between the total number of juice bottles and the number of boxes. What information can help us find the answer? Okay, and it's the graph. The graph can help us, the table, I'm sorry, can help us find the answer. And all we did was just copy it down at the bottom. Based on this, are there any answer choices that can be crossed out? All right, let's take a look. So let's take answer choice A. So answer choice A says the total number of juice bottles plus 36 equals the number of boxes. Okay, so we're saying that 54 plus 36 equals the number of boxes. Okay, so for A, 54 plus 36, does that equal 3? Okay. Let's look at B. The total number of juice bottles divided by 18 equals the number of boxes. So does 54 divided by 18 equal 3? Okay, again, does 54 divided by 18 equal 3? For C, the total number of juice bottles times 3 equals the number of boxes. Okay, so does the total number of juice bottles, 54, and all we need is really the first line to look, and if we can say yes to more than one answer choice, then we look at that second line and check, okay, does that answer choice meet it, the answers for this one as well? Okay, so for C, does 54 times 3 equal 3? Because that's what we're saying. The total number of juice bottles times 3 equals the number of boxes. Okay? And then the total number of juice bottles minus 51 equals the number of boxes. All right, so in looking at that, let's see. And if the answer is yes, then you move to the next one. Again, if it meets the first criteria, you look at the second one to see, okay, does this match as well? Okay. Taking a moment to look at that. Are there any answer choices that can be crossed out? If you answered yes, you are correct. Answer choice A, C, and D can be crossed out. Okay, so let's take a look. So for A, the total number of juice boxes plus 36 equals the number of boxes. Well, 54 plus 36 does not equal 3. We can immediately cross that one out. For B, the total number of juice bottles divided by 18 equals the number of boxes. Okay, so 54 divided by 18, yes, that does equal 3. Let's move to the next one. 90 divided by 18 is 90 divided by 18, 5. Yes, that's correct. So that's potentially the right answer. Let's move to C. The total number of juice bottles times 3 equals the number of boxes. So looking at that first number, 54 times 3 does not equal to 3. So we know that that's incorrect. Okay. D, the total number of juice bottles minus 51 equals the number of boxes. Now, this one is tricky because that is correct for the first answer. 54 minus 51 does equal 3. Let's move to the next line because remember we said it's correct for the first line or the first row, jump to the second row and see if it's correct as well. Does 90 minus 51 equal 5? No, it does not. So again, A, C, and D can be crossed out. So our answer choice is B. The total number of juice boxes divided by 18 equals the number of boxes. Let's move to question number 4. Owen lives 145 and 25/100 kilometers from Houston, Texas. Sharon lives 209, we'll say 0.5 kilometers from or kilometers from Houston. What is the difference between these two distances? F, 64.25 kilometers, G, 54.35 kilometers, H, 124.30 kilometers, J, 144.35 kilometers. What are we looking for? We are looking for the difference between where Owen and Sharon live. What information can help us find the answer? Okay, so we need to know where Owen lives, and we put O is equal to 145.25 kilometers. We need to know where Sharon lives, and that's 209.5 kilometers. So we put S is equal to 209.5, and what is the difference means that we need to subtract, okay? We need to subtract. So we are going to set up our problem. Where Sharon lives minus where Owen lives is equal to, we don't know. So we know that Sharon lives 209.5 kilometers from Houston, and Owen lives 145.25 kilometers from Houston. And what I did was added that 0 because even though the 5 is in the tens place, anything after that can be a 0. Okay, so in order to line up our decimals and to make sure that we come up with the right answer, we put the 0. Now let's look to see if there are any answer choices we can cross out. A quick way, and this is like a quick tip, is let's look at our decimals, okay? So we have 0.50 minus 0.25. And a quick way for this problem of thinking of it is if you have 50 cents and you gave someone a quarter, 1/4, how much would you have left? Okay, so again, 0.50, which is kind of like 50 cents with money, and minus 0.25, you give somebody a quarter. Looking at that, knowing what that answer would be, point whatever, looking at the answer choices, is there anything you can cross out that we know is wrong? Because in doing that, again, it will help you to improve your chances of getting the question correct. If you said that answer choices G, H, and J can be crossed out, you are correct. So our final or our correct answer choice is F, 64.25. This again is Shay Jackson with Hype Math. For any other 5th grade test prep videos, go to www.hypemath.com. Hope to see you later.